You leave for WWF in 1993. Todd Pettengill comes in as your replacement, for lack of a better term. Someone's got to fill the role. It's Todd. Did you work with Todd and help show him the ropes? Did you guys have interactions?
Yeah, briefly, yeah. And that's kind of a misconception there that
Okay.
people, and I've heard that before, that they say that Todd came in to replace me. That really wasn't the case.
Okay.
Vince had heard Todd on the radio. Todd had was on the radio for I think he still does some stuff. Um, for one of those morning radio shows there, comedy with Scott Shannon in New York. I can't remember. It was like whatever the morning show was. And Vince would listen to him driving wherever he was going, and he loved his humor for whatever reason, and thought Todd would be a good addition to our announce team, and had brought him up. And I don't even think I don't know when Todd came in. I still hadn't told Vince I was leaving,
Right.
so
Okay.
it wasn't like he was thinking, and I don't think it was because I'm going to get rid of Mooney, because Todd never did an event center, so that wasn't the reason. Todd is just a great performer and funny. A
Yeah.
comedian, he could do great impressions. He'd do Jackie Gleason and all these characters that he had. And so, I think that Vince was going to lean more on that creative talent. So when he came in, we did a few things together. He wasn't going to do the event center. There was never a point where, he was going to go sit at a desk and do, venues. Vince had him doing a lot of other things. And I remember the last thing we did was right before WrestleMania 9. I did the pre-show with Todd, and the whole premise was I end up getting his plane ticket or something and rip it or something. I can't remember what happened with it, but we got along great, and I thought he was really funny. And we actually did a podcast together. I tried to get him for 10 years, not 10 years, but the podcast wasn't on that long. But I really wanted to get him on as a guest. I got Craig Minaverni, Craig DeGeorge, who I came in after he left, and that was a wonderful conversation, because I'd had questions for him that I'd always wondered about, and I had tried to get Todd and had left messages at the radio station and tried to email him and never heard a thing. And I don't remember, I gave one last shot or something, and I think he called me. I just put a phone number, and he called me, and I said, Todd, I've been trying to get a hold of you. He goes, this is the first time I've heard any of this that you want. Now, I don't know whether or not that was the case, but I got him on, and what a fun conversation that was. You should check that one out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's just another one of those guys that came in, and he stayed there almost as long, or maybe even longer than I was there. I don't think people realize that. And he did a lot of, unique things where he did game shows with them. He was, did all these.
Do you remember when he had to give away a house?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a special part of that period of time. But
absolutely.
Like I said, he didn't do the events. So he was his. My point is, I'm not saying, oh my God, he didn't replace me. I'm saying that he was his own unique personality in the WWE. That Vince recognized his talent and took advantage of it. So, and you remember, certainly, Gene was gone. I think Mooney, what an idiot. I said, Vince didn't like my play-by-play for some reason, and I'm not alone in that. It's up and down. But I think some days, I said, I wish I would have just gone to him and said, Vince, I can do this. I know I can. Teach me. Let's give me some sessions, and who knows what would have happened. But I think maybe at that time he didn't think that was something I was going to grow into. It's those maybe what ifs, and you can't go back and fix them. So,
right. Absolutely.
But yeah, a lot of unique people went through there. That's for sure.